I'm Tony Morris, and welcome to the second episode of Southern Soul. If you're just joining us for the first time, Southern is because I'm from Alabama originally, and Soul is because I'm a psychic medium. And in the first episode, we did cover a little bit about my background, but what I asked the viewers to do was, hey, if you got some questions, why don't you send them to me, and we'll take some time to get to know each other that way. You ask the questions and I give you some answers. And the questions can be about not only me or the work that I do, but it can also be about the different topics of spirituality in general. Let's take a few of those questions right now. Okay, first question. What is your biggest challenge for you as your job as a psychic medium? That's actually a very good question. But I want to change that a little bit. I don't think of it as a challenge, because if I consider something to be a challenge, I'm already putting obstacles, or I'm already putting barriers in the path that may not even be there in the first place. Meaning we can create our own obstacles, we can create our own barriers, and they're not even there yet. So what the word I choose to use is opportunities. What are my greatest opportunities as a psychic medium? And there's quite a few, but if I had to pick one, it would be learning more about the different cultures in the world and how those different cultures interact with the world of spirituality. Whether it's, from different countries, even different religions, different races. It's just fascinating for me to learn about all the different cultures and how they connect with spirituality. I tell people all the time, I'm a perpetual student. So let's take the second question, okay? Do colors have spiritual connections? In a word, yes. Think of the world as one big rainbow with the different colors and the different variations of those colors. And colors have energy, just like this shirt has energy, just like this piece of paper has energy. And energy is capable of not only receiving likewise energy, but it's also quite capable of emitting energy as well, sending it off. So in the future, what I truly believe is going to happen, I believe there's going to be a lot more focus on colors and their role in the healing powers, whether it's through emotional therapy, mental therapy, or even physical therapy. So stay tuned in that respect. And finally, the last question that we'll take today, do you have any psychics that you look up to? Well, I am 5'5", so I look up to a lot of people. But all kidding aside, yeah, there's one in particular that I really do look up to. His name is Edgar Cayce, and Edgar Cayce is known as the grandfather of modern day psychic work. This is a man who I think might have gone as far as 6th grade, and what he did, he was able to do through his deep trances, he did what he called medical readings. And all these readings are documented at his library in Virginia. He was quite accurate in what he did. But get this, the man is from Kentucky. And guess what? I lived in Kentucky for 6 years. So I'm not surprised that I was probably drawn to that part of the world, and I think Mr. Cayce might have had something to do with it. In the first episode of Southern Soul, I mentioned that we're going to take a topic in each episode and explore it a little deeper. Like last time we talked about meditation, and we've got something special lined up for you this week as well. So let's get rocking. Hi. Next time you find yourself caught between a rock and a hard place, you might want to lean against the stone. The reason being, stones and gems have special healing powers. Don't take my word for it. The American Gem Society has also noted that among all the different stones in the world, they do possess healing powers, creative powers, and a number of others. So let's talk about some examples of some stones and what you can expect to get out of them. Let's start with amber. Amber is thought to aid in memory loss, purify the body, alleviate headaches, and bone and heart problems. All right, let's move on to amethyst.
Amethyst is considered the gemstone of meditation, peace, balance, courage, and inner strength. Aquamarine, which is my mother's birthstone, aids the liver, throat, stomach, jaw, teeth, eyes, and ears. It's also known for releasing fear, calming nerves, and bringing mental clarity. Next up is lapis, a beautiful stone. It's known to help with the alleviation of insomnia and depression. It's also really helpful with creativity. A lot of artists are probably drawn to lapis, I would think. Onyx. Now, I love me some onyx because it is connected to the root chakra. And the root chakra is the chakra that keeps us grounded. It also helps with spiritual inspiration and control over our emotions. Again, another balancing stone. Topaz. Topaz is probably known as one of the most powerful of the gemstones. It facilitates, again, the balance of emotions and protection from greed. Protection from greed, that's a big one. And turquoise. Let's talk about turquoise. Turquoise, of course, is very popular with the Native Americans, and good reasons why. Because it's steeped in lore and tradition, and it has a very strong healing quality, and it's also considered one of the balancing stones as well. Now, I'm not telling you to go off and buy all these stones and all these gems just so you have them lying around the house. What I am encouraging you to do, though, is to be connected with those stones that you're naturally drawn to. For me, for example, I always thought that I was drawn to tiger's eye just because it was kind of cool. Little did I know, after doing research, that tiger's eye is spiritually connected to world good. Pretty powerful stone. That's why I wear it. And actually, I've been wearing, this is probably my 6th or 7th version of this particular bracelet. And the other stone that I've also drawn to is red carnelian. A beautiful, beautiful, has kind of an autumn brilliance about it. And again, I thought I was drawn to it just because it looked kind of pretty or kind of good looking. Little did I know, this has a lot to do with death, rebirth, the whole cycle of life. No wonder I'm drawn to it, because I have done past life regression work, and I also understand the importance that, hey, life goes on in more ways than we could ever imagine. We've talked about a lot of stones here, from amber to turquoise. We've covered a lot of ground. The important takeaway for you as a viewer is to go after what rocks your world.
You know what? This may be my favorite part of the show. And the reason being is because I get to be a kid again. And I get to reconnect with my little red wagon. Now, if you joined us on our first show, you might remember that little red wagon is actually a metaphor for life. When we were kids, it was probably one of our first toys, if not our first. And we put our dreams, we put our aspirations, we put what we want to be when we grow up in that little red wagon. And we carry it through life. Sometimes, the wheels come off. And if you joined us on the first episode of Southern Soul, we had a little bit of homework. I asked the viewers to write down 3 things that they wanted to still accomplish in their life. Again, it's up to them. Whether you want to go on a trip, you want to meet certain people, whatever the experiences or accomplishments you hope to achieve. To write those 3 things down on a sheet of paper and put them in your little red wagon. It's your dream maker, your dream weaver. And I also promised on the first show that we would take it one step further in the second episode. So you ready for round 2? Round 2, what I want everybody to do, once you've written down your 3 things, is to identify one step, one simple step that you can do to move your little red wagon along in accordance with those 3 things you identified. So, for example, if you want to go on a trip to Italy, one thing that you can do is start doing research. on the different cities or the different locations that Italy has to offer. Oh, and don't forget the food too. The second thing is to have fun with it. Enjoy the process. Don't agonize over, oh, I gotta look at what cities are in Italy. No, have fun with it. Think of it as an adventure. That's what your little red wagon is all about. It's helping you to discover the adventurous side of you. So again, your homework for this time is to take those 3 big dreams of yours and then identify 3 first steps, one for each, that will help activate those dreams. It's pretty simple. And again, like I said in the first show, if you're willing to do the work, I promise you, you're going to see results. Thanks so much for joining us on our 2nd episode of Southern Soul, and I hope you'll come back next time. Until then, take care.